Do you want to stop being a pussy that never gets laid? Do you want to start making real money? Why would a girl that has the option between a boss who's got $10 million, can drive around in a Bugatti, a Corvette, a Ferrari, he could take her to the place, he could take her to a nice restaurant, he could take her around the street, he could take her on a boat. All she has to do is accept that he's going to fuck other bitches. That's all she has to do. She accepts that, or she can be with a simp buster like this guy. All right, Jesse on fire. What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? So we're going to talk about Nate Diaz's situation, Jake Paul, Andrew Tate, and if I title this correctly in a way that is likely to garner any kind of attention, I'm probably going to title it something along the lines of, is Nate Diaz going to have his fight stolen by Andrew Tate, right? Because here's the thing, Andrew Tate is positioning for a fight against Jake Paul. And you've got Nate Diaz over here about to get out of his UFC contract one way or the other with only one. I mean, again, I'm making assumptions here that the reason that he wants out so much is that he wants to fight Jake Paul. But that would just be common sense, because what else is he going to do? We've talked about this, right? Where even if his goal is to negotiate with the UFC, the Jake Paul fight has to be there for his leverage position to be strong and him to make as much money as possible, making this whole thing make sense, right? So, I mean, there's no downside to Nate. Nate, driving a hard bargain with the UFC is all upside for him, right? But we're going to talk about this because I think that Andrew Tate might be about to steal this fight from him, because Jake Paul, great guy, really strong, good fighter, world by the balls. He can only fight one guy at a time, man. And again, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again right now. The Jake Paul thing as a boxer in its current state has a limited time offer. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you about which fight I think is bigger, Andrew Tate or Nate Diaz, as it relates to, the amount of attention that you can drive about this fight. So that's what we're going to do. Now, before I get into it, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. This is basically a react video because I'm going to show you guys some of the videos that Andrew Tate did and Jake Paul responding, etc. But before I get into all that, I'm going to ask you guys to like the video below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't before, share this with your friends. And also, if you are one of the people who is so crazy that you think that you're at no risk of hackers coming and stealing your information, then I need to stress this to you. You are not safe. You're not safe, man. It's not fear tactics, nothing. This is just a stone reality. Think about how many fake phishing things that you get. There are people out trying to steal your identity all the time. And if you do not take that seriously, someone's going to get it and they're going to make your life a living hell. The way that I avoid it, I use IP vanish. No one knows where I am. No one knows who's obviously I'm a kind of like public person on YouTube, but no one knows where I'm logging in from. No one knows who I am, etc. It completely anonymizes me online. And that is something that you should invest in also. So you can go to ipvanish.com/Jesse and then use the promo code Jesse and you will get a fantastic deal. And I cannot stress this enough. You should have it. It's irresponsible. There's a lot of other benefits that I can't talk about while promoting. Okay. A lot of other benefits that like a fight fan might benefit from that I can't make part of the promo, smarten up. Anyway. Okay. So here's the deal. So look, at the end of the day, you've got a couple factors. You got Jake Paul is the money guy. Like it's really crazy to say, but it's true. It's really bizarre because his last fight performed so poorly, which is not his fault, right? And then you also have these last few fights where the other guy doesn't even show up. He's supposed to fight Tommy Fury, no show. He's supposed to fight Rockman. Rockman can't cut the weight. He doesn't have a great track record of these fights actually getting to the fight. But ultimately, everybody knows there are big fights with Jake Paul. They just have to be the right one with the right opponent, right? But I will say this again. I'm going to say this again. I said this on my live stream yesterday. I'm going to say it again right now. What he's doing here has a limited time. Okay, this train is slowing down already, which is Jake Paul boxing against someone who is not a professional boxer. If you really want to get big Jake Paul numbers, he needs to make a real run in boxing, right? Like he needs to pick real boxers and he needs to convince the world that he is trying to become the champion of the world in boxing. To try to exaggerate the numbers that his fights will do, if that becomes his goal and he starts starching guys like real boxers, he starts doing the Tyson thing, he starts fighting, 5 times a year and he's really doing well. I can't even imagine the numbers he would do. But the thing of like, can he beat a mixed martial arts fighter in a boxing match? We've already answered that. He starched Tyron Woodley. The curiosity is, can he beat one of these guys? He did. So like, that's the whole thing. Like, oh, we'll fight Nate Diaz now. Yeah, Nate Diaz is a bigger star. He can draw. He can draw. So like, yeah, it'll be a bigger fight probably than the Tyron Woodley fight, but I don't think it's as big as everybody thinks. I don't think it's quite as big as everybody thinks. However, if him and Andrew Tate do it, that's different. Okay. Now, again, you have this whole thing of people stealing the fights. I think, I would bet you 80% of the people who watched it would steal it, but nonetheless, Andrew Tate is like an internet phenomenon now. Like, and I'll use this time to speak about Andrew Tate briefly. I did a short video about this, which got 250,000 views in like 2 days. I guess the algorithm is, he's trending or whatever. For those of you who don't know who he is, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what. Let me show you exactly who he is. And we'll look at this video real quick because it's relevant anyway. So let's watch this, you guys. Ready? Boom.
Whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, who would fuck you up. I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes all. I'm 5 years out the ring. I'm a kickboxer. You're 2-0 in boxing. I'm 0-0 in boxing. I've never even fought boxing. I'm a retired old man. 5 years I've been sitting around smoking cigars and fucking bitches, which are better looking than the fucking girl you're advertising anyway. I will fight you any day of the fucking week.
All right. So yeah, that's Andrew Tate. And listen, he is a professional kickboxer, retired, world champion, good. Not all talk, good. He's got like a kickboxing record, like for good kickboxers are like, it's like 7,010, like they have so many fights, dude. These guys have so many fights, but he's like one of those guys. I think his record is like 79-9 or something like that. But yeah, so he's no joke, but his brand is more around like, yeah, bro. He's like, oh, so you want to listen, why would a girl that has the option between a boss who's got $10 million, can drive around in a Bugatti, a Corvette, a Ferrari, he could take her to the place, he could take her to a nice restaurant, he could take her around the street, he could take her on a boat. All she has to do is accept that he's going to fuck other bitches. That's all she has to do. She accepts that, or she can be with a simp buster like this guy. He's got a $50,000 a year job. He's miserable. He doesn't feel comfortable. He thinks she's too hot for him. I mean, who do you think she's going to fuck? That kind of thing, right? So that's his shtick. And in the in the live stream, or not the live stream, sorry, in the short that I did, I said, I was like, do I like Andrew Tate? Sure. Do I think we would get along? Yeah. I mean, I think he's performing, you know what I mean? Like I could tell he breaks character a little bit every once in a while. And I'm like, okay, me and him, this guy would get along. The thing he's doing on camera, I would be like, I would be like, okay, I like this guy. I agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but fucking A, it's hard for people like me and him to fill the same space for some, but again, I don't think that's what he's really, I think he's really hamming it up, like he's going heavy, but the bottom line is his target audience is not me, like I am not Andrew Tate's target audience at all. His target audience are simp dudes, right? Because he's got this whole like, Tate University. It's like, do you want to stop being a pussy that never gets laid? Do you want to start making real money? Then join Tate University. You subscribe, you pay one monthly fee, low monthly fee. We have a 99% retention rate because people are making real money with our system. It's like some, system to make money. I haven't even looked at it, so I'm not talking shit at all. I'm just saying that like, any of you who watch my channel have seen my house, seen my girl, like I am not his target audience, like, do you want a ball? It's like, yeah, no, I got that covered. Do you want a hot bitch? I'm like, got that covered. Yeah. Chose the hottest bitch, like had lots of hot bitches, chose the hottest one, locked her down, but again, like that's not combative. I'm just not his guy. You know what I mean? Like this, no one is targeting everyone, but there's a couple things about his thing is like, when it comes to fighting, right? And I said this in my, let me come back to this. First, let me say this. He is the hottest social media thing in the world right now. For whatever reason, he's trending all over. Because he has great takes. In all honesty, the guy is fucking born for TikTok, man. Like, in all honesty, he is born for fucking and I killed it on TikTok. I joined TikTok. I was just like, I'll just post a video every day. You know, I got like 250,000 subscribers in like fucking less than a year. Just talking about UFC. I wasn't even doing like, I wasn't actually even sharing real fucking knowledge that I have, you know? But like, but that was hard for me. You know, I will certainly acknowledge like TikTok was hard for me to condense my ideas into 1 minute. Like one of the reasons why I did so well is because I would do part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And one of the things I am good at is, you know, like telling a compelling narrative where like if people start like if you look at my analytics of like when people start a video of mine, let's say like 20 minutes and you see how many people watch the entire 20 minutes, like there's just data to support that people get engaged when I'm talking and they'll watch long periods of time, right? So TikTok, when I would do the multi-parts, people would watch it and then they would go to my channel and they would watch part 2, part 3, part 4. And that would tell the algorithm it's almost as good as people forwarding your shit. Nothing's better than that. That's why he kills it, dude. But something that Andrew Tate's tremendously better than me at is he can take a very complicated topic or a point and he could condense it into 60 seconds. And it's like, he's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. He's fucking very good at that, dude. Like as a content creator, he is fucking exceptional at that, actually. Really complex stuff too. Like here's the setup. Here's the argument. Here's the conclusion. Here's why. Boom. In 60 fucking seconds. You're like, damn. And I'm not talking about like you want to bitch the dude. I'm talking like actual stuff that matters. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Bottom line is this. I have said this forever, for fucking ever. Okay. If you are looking at combat sports as a business now, what is more like the future of combat sports, at least outside of the UFC, is like you can literally have any two people if they've got enough juice to get into a cage or a ring and fight, and you'll be able to make a lot of money, you know, because at the end of the day, people like us, hardcore fans, yeah, we want to see elite martial artists go up against each other. And we want to see who's better, who's going to be the better man that day, who did more preparation, all that shit, right? But we're all fans of violence. Everyone is, dude. Everyone is. Like when you were in school, right? When you're in fucking high school, and it was like, oh, did you hear, Jesse and John are going to fight after school at 3? Are you going? Do you remember any fucking people would show up? Like, it's fucking outlandish. You get like 50, 60, 70 people there to watch a fight in high school just because they're like, yeah, this guy and this guy are going to meet in the playground. Fucking nobody knows how to fight well then. Well, that's not true actually anymore. But like, certainly no. I certainly never went to a fight or got in a fight where it was like, oh, someone like had really like skilled training back then when they're like 15 years old, you know? But it's just human nature, dude. So if you got Andrew Tate that everybody's watching, the number one trending fucking dude on social media, he's going to fight Jake Paul, who's always trending. Dude, that's going to do fucking numbers. And if I'm Jake Paul and I'm looking, okay, do I want to do Nate or do I want to do Andrew Tate? Which do? I do Tate for sure. And not because I would never do Nate, but because Tate is trending right now, big time. And you know who understands trending and all that stuff? Fucking Jake Paul. You know who's learning about that? Me. Like, honestly, me, like I always knew about like trending topics, but like I did a video about Andrew Tate as a test. That's literally why I did it. I just wanted to see. I was like, let's just see how it performs. It fucking did 250,000 views in a day just because he's a trending topic. You know, all my shorts are just as good as that one. You know, like in terms of the analytics, I can see the analytics. Some of my analytics, it says people watched for an average. Okay, an average of 120%. That means the fucking average, person who watched it, and we're talking big sample size, 50,000 people, not only watched the whole thing, they watched it a time and a half, but those videos don't do as well as the Andrew Tate one. So I don't know, whatever. So like Jake Paul fucking understands this shit. Trending. Andrew Tate trending. They could sell the fuck out of that fight. They could sell the living fuck out of that fight. Because, and again, that would be the smart play for Jake, dude, because at the end of the day, it's like this. If Jake understands his real situation, which is exactly what I am saying, the Sideshow Bob fucking combat sports shit has a limited time offer. Like once you beat, like let's say he fights Andrew Tate and he, you know, let's say wins or whatever. And let's say he fights Nate Diaz and he wins. Like people are not going to give a fuck after that. You're not going to be able, barring a Conor McGregor fight, you're not going to be like, people are just gonna be like, whatever, dude, I don't care. I don't care. Even if Jake starches them. And I mean, it probably sounds crazy. People are like, no. If he starched them, like you'll be able to sell more. I don't think you will, dude. However, if Jake starts fighting real boxers, okay, Jake's a big enough star. Like think about Tyson when he was on his come up. And yes, I'm sure this is probably poison in your ears. You're comparing him to fucking Tyson. It's not my point. But when you get a guy in boxing who's on the come up, dude, that is a different sport than the UFC. Okay. Like no one gives it's like, who's he fighting? Who fucking cares? Every once in a while you get these like miracle bouts where you got two guys that you know both of them and it's a big deal. Tyson Fury against fucking Deontay Wilder, Mayweather and Pacquiao. But most of the time you have one superstar and then whoever he's fighting. And so if Jake Paul went on a real run, dude, like a real, obviously hand-selected opponents and actually convince people he's going on a real run in boxing, he will sell the fuck out of that. Sell the fuck out of that. And he doesn't owe anything to Nate Diaz. Andrew Tate came out of nowhere, you know? So like if I'm Nate, fuck me. I am on fast forward trying to get that deal on paper the second that I can, like right after this 279 fight. But if I'm Jake Paul, I'm getting this inked with Andrew Tate. I mean, Andrew Tate, that's not going anywhere, but Andrew Tate's trending right now, fucking right now. And look at that video I showed you. That guy's going to be able to sell your fucking fight, dude. He's going to be the best dance partner you've ever had. He'll be the best fucking dance partner you've ever had. Okay? Just plain and simple. When it comes to promoting a fight, you will never have a better, partner for Jake Paul than fucking Andrew Tate. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, if you really understand the mechanisms at work in terms of how you sell a fight of Jake Paul fighting, which is not down normal combat sports channels, right? All the combat sports people like us, we're going to fucking watch it, of course. But the way that you do real numbers on those is not normally through traditional channels, unless you're fighting Floyd Mayweather or something. You do the Andrew Tate, you've got, whatever fucking Logan Paul KSI did, I'm sure they made bank on that, dude. You fucking double those numbers, dude. Double those numbers. Because now people take him kind of serious and they know Andrew Tate's a fucking world-class kickboxer. Like that thing does ridiculous numbers. Like Andrew Tate, he says, oh, I'll bet you $3 million. He's going to be paying him if he loses out of the fucking 15 that he makes, Anyway, so that's what I got. So I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the fucking bell. Peace.